what are your thoughts? And you said it just a minute ago. She's so talented and whatnot. I'd like to know your thoughts on talent and where it fits. And I've had people, and I thought this way for a while myself, that looking at Kevin Bales or Jeff Hayden play the piano, and some people will think, wow, it must be nice to be that talented to be able to do that. And they don't think about or don't recognize all the work that has been done for that player to get to that level.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, where do you stand on talent? I know fine players in Atlanta that don't believe in talent at all. They say it's a myth and it's overrated and it's a quick crutch that we go to. Oh, I could never do that. That person's got all this talent. And then there are other people that, I mean, Mozart, Bach, were they talented? Of course they were. I believe that talent does exist, but I'm kind of ruining the response. I wanted to hear your thoughts on talent. I wanted to give you a little more background as to what I'm going after here. Do you see it as something that's overrated? Do you think it is totally valid? Is talent an important part of being able to play an instrument well? If someone feels they have talent or they don't have talent.
How do you know what talent is?
Yeah, is it the culmination of practice, or is it confidence, some sort of combination?
That's another thing. Right. Confidence. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? This is broad, so what are your thoughts on talent?
I mean, not to quote Corinthians in the Bible, but gifts come in all shapes and sizes.
That's true.
We all have different gifts. I have gifts that maybe Kevin Bales doesn't have, right? And vice versa. I think talent, it just depends. It's like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. You can look at someone and people can say, oh, that person is just not attractive at all. But then someone else will say, that's the most beautiful person in the world. I think it just depends. There are people who should not be playing music. It's very rare. It's so rare. But I can't say they shouldn't be playing music, because if they're enjoying it for themselves, right?
Yep.
And I have seen those that are. I remember there was a person at our school, and she had trouble staying on pitch, just trouble. But she worked so hard, she ended up getting into college as a voice major.
Wow.
So who's to say? It's kind of like Michael Jordan, right? It's the Michael Jordan story. Like, I have seen the Michael Jordans where I thought that person's never gonna make it, and then they do. I've had students come back to me and they become full-on professors, or they're full-on, all kinds of stuff. And I never thought that they would get where they were. It's really about the work, and it's really about the attitude, and what you offer. So I wouldn't say that. Like, I remember when I worked on the Ghost Brothers show with Mellencamp and his band. I remember the bass player, and to this day I can't remember his name, but he was a Nashville cat, right? One of the amazing. You could, they play by numbers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, change
the Nashville
keys.
system.
Just like unbelievable player. And I remember he wrote down, maybe it was a thank you card or something. He just said that I was one of the most talented people he had ever met.
I would second that.
Okay. No. But it was like, I think it was because I just had a lot of skills, right? And so I look at it as I'm very skilled, and I can accomplish things. I am no Kevin Bales. I am no Ted Hamm. I am no John Mellencamp, right? I am no Lana Love. But I have skills. And so some people recognize those skills as amazing. To me, they're just God-given. They come easy. Like, I remember when I opened up the music school, and I remember there was a lady who opened up a music school in Alpharetta, and she spent $1 million to open up her music school, and I thought, we're done. We're out. I don't have $1 million. We're out. She was out of business in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was in touch with the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was, and that's kind of taken me, even in my nonprofit work that I do. I think it's really, and that's what I loved about the Jimmy Fallon interview, right? I'm so impressed with him that if you just put your head down and do the work, you'll see where you fit in. Because where I ended up is not where I thought I would be.
Right.
But where I ended up is where I should be, and I'm so happy I didn't go down the path that I wanted to go at 20.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. A friend of mine said by the way, do you know Thayer Naples? Do you know that name? He's
I don't.
a classical guitarist, got his master's from GSU. I'm
Oh,
pretty
no,
sure
I don't.
GSU, yeah. And he and I play a lot.
And if I'm supposed to, I'm sorry.
No, well, he's a really fine classical guitarist, but he plays the Chet Atkins style. He can play.
Oh, wow.
He does
Stanley
all
Jordan kind of thing, the picking?
Well,
or?
the chord melody combination.
Yeah,
He's
that's
playing
Stanley
chords
Jordan.
and melody.
Yeah.
And so, but he said something once, because I was talking to him about, all these bands that I'm in, and let's say, things don't work out the way you think. And Thayer said, well, in my experience with music, I've learned that music shows up, but at the last minute, and I added to it my own little tweaking of it. Music shows up, but when it wants to, and it's often at the last minute. And what I guess I'm trying to say is that we have an idea of what we think music will do. This is my perspective. I'm going to get into music, let's say, and I see myself doing a certain thing. Well, if you go in and serve the music or do the work, as you say, it takes you where it wants to take you. Where if you're
That's
a religious person, it might be where you're destined by God or whatever. But we don't have control. That's one of the things I love so much about music is it's in control, not really us. I mean, we can influence it, but and some people put it in the talent category, or you're not good enough, or you're not the right fit or whatever. But it really is. It seems to me, and would love your take on it, but music takes us where it wants us. We don't have total control sometimes with music. We wind up doing something with it because that's the path we were to go, and it might not have been the path that we thought we originally wanted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's. I think. Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
That's kind of what you were saying. I mean, with your.
I was just. Are you talking about it in the sense that, you go watch live performances of, let's say, like a Rolling Stones song, like "Gimme Shelter," it takes its own life each time, and it's not like they're like, hey, we're gonna go do it this slightly different way, or maybe not completely different way, but notably different way, right? Is that what you're getting
Not
at, or
really.
you're just talking?
Not really. I'm talking about with music as a
career,
a journey,
yeah.
and we often, it seems to me that people can enter music and see a path to a destination that they think they're going to go, and when they, after years of being in it, they're in a different spot because the path veered off for whatever reason.
Or
and I think a lot of that is the music itself. If you're meant to do something with music and you give it your whole heart, you'll do what you're supposed to do, and it might not be what you personally want. These people that try to, I want to be in a rock and roll band or whatever, and I want to get famous and tour the world and live that lifestyle, and they get in and see what it really is about, and their band, they wind up doing something totally different with it.
Yeah, I think that goes back to being centered, right? It goes back to seeing where your purpose is, and not to get all spiritual on you, but to see where your higher power or God wants to take you, and I think what happens is that I've seen people sell their soul, right?
Right.
To get
to try to
blinded by the money.
There is that's right. There are those.
Yep.
That will do anything. I mean anything to get where they want to be.
Where they want to go.
And that gets them either, sometimes they don't even know why they're doing it anymore, because they get there. It's like when you buy a new car. You work so hard, and you get there and you're like, after about a month, you're like, okay, now I've got car payments. So I think after that they get there and they're like, oh, I have no freedom. And my wife left me, and
the price I've had to pay.
And now I have this addiction problem, and my manager stole all my money. And I'm not saying that being famous is bad. I'm saying if you don't know why, if you don't do it for the work in anything, even corporate,
right.
or for the work, you will lose yourself.
Yep.
And I think that goes back to. And that's the advice I give everyone is focus on the work.
Yep.
Because I think as far as getting to the point where when you were saying, does it take a life of its own? It does. I've been in rooms. I'm not famous, but I have been in rooms that I thought, wow, I'm in this room with these people. Wow, I'm on this stage. Wow. I just met this person. And my husband and I both said that about our lives, that music has given us, we have met some amazing people, from congressmen to
Gemini.
to all kinds, but just people that we just love, like people that,
And Brian.
The two greatest, and Brian.
So I think it's, I don't see myself as really successful, but I don't see myself
That's
as
for profit, yeah.
as a failure.
Right.
I
'Cause-
see myself, I guess I'll just kind of be like Prince. I see myself as is, and
Yeah.
and it's more like maybe like
Right.
remember when Prince was fighting with his record company and they were taking all of his money, and so he put out the symbol, and I think I just kind of see myself as that I don't try to get typecast into one thing.
Right.
Well, to me.